Hello everyone, welcome to the Healing Kitchen Time. Today I have a treat for you. We are going to be making Naughty Nettie bars. It's an ooey gooey treat that everyone will love. To get started with this, you want to make sure you've got a cookie sheet and make sure it's a flat one, not one that you've been using out on the grill that's all wavy. Make sure it's got a good flat bottom to it. And then we're going to spray it with some Pam spray and just lightly, not a lot. Always make sure you have your oven turned on to 350 degrees. That's always the first thing you need to do. In a glass bowl, we're going to put 2 sticks of butter. I know, butter, but it's good. So use real butter. We're going to melt this for about 45 seconds in the microwave. Okay, now that we have the butter nice and melted, we're going to add our graham cracker crumbs. Now, you can get the graham cracker crumbs pre-chopped, and that's how I like to do it, just because sometimes it's okay to have a few shortcuts in the kitchen. But if you have graham crackers, throw them in a Ziploc baggie, take a rolling pin to it, and just have a heyday with it. Or a blender works just as good. So we're going to dump in the graham cracker crumbs like that, and we're going to add a few tablespoons of sugar. The sugar just helps sweeten the crust just a little bit. So we're going to do about 3 tablespoons, which is also equal to about 1/4 cup on that. All right, now stir this all together. And when you're making crusts for any kind of bars or cheesecake or anything like that, you want to make sure that there is enough butter that when you grip it together, it actually stays in a ball-like form. Now that we've had our pan sprayed, we're going to put our crumb mixture on the bottom. Now you don't want it too thick. If it gets too thick, then it becomes this chalky-like bar, and then people don't really, you want just the crust to be a nice, perfect thin crust. So spread it all around with your hand, get in all those edges, and then press really firmly down. Now, did you know why they're called Naughty Nettie bars? Funny story. But the reason is that, maybe that's for another time, but the reason why I call them that is because you can't stop eating these. So then you're like, I feel naughty. So the best thing is to cut them into smaller bites. Then you don't feel so bad for eating about 5 or 6. Okay, now that I've got this nice and pressed, look at that. Okay, perfect. I'm going to wash my hands and let's get ready for the next step. Now that we've got the crust all done, firmly packed down, we're going to add our chocolate chips. And I like to use a semi-sweet chocolate chip. So we're going to sprinkle the chocolate on there. Usually about a 12 or 14 ounce bag of chocolate chips will be just great. Okay, sprinkle those chocolate chips all around, and if you want to mix it up, you can add some white chocolate chips, or you can add even butterscotch chips. Be creative with it if you would like. And for Valentine's Day, this is seriously the best treat ever. You could even get, some of those red chocolate, and chop it up and put it in here. It's like we're sifting for gold. Here's one of my tips and tricks, okay? So it helps make it so it's a nice, even layer. If you pack on the chocolate chips too high, then when they firm up out of the oven and they're not melty gooey anymore, then it's like you're going to break your tooth because you're going through a huge chunk of chocolate. So make sure you just have one thin layer of it. Now onto the coconut, shredded coconut. Again, another 12 ounce bag will do it. We are going to spread this all around evenly. Okay, so this is a Nettie necessity. You need to press the coconut down. Do not miss this step at all. Press, 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 because if not, you're going to have a dry bar. Well, have you ever bitten into a bar and it's like it had too much coconut and it just was dry and you felt like you needed a gallon of milk? This is the step that is necessary in this process. All right, now we're on to the ooey gooey part, which we are going to use 3 cans of sweetened condensed milk. So I always like to pour the edges first, just making sure this whole thing is getting covered. Now, as you can see, there's still some in the bottom of my can, but I'll show you what I do with that at the very end, because we need every last drop of this sweetened condensed milk. Now, I'm going to use my offset spatula. This is a Nettie necessity in the kitchen as well. Okay, so we're going to scrape all of this out of all 3 cans Now we're going to take this offset spatula, just lightly make sure every last bit of that coconut is covered. Again, you want these to be ooey gooey bars, not dry. And see if it starts to pull up a little bit, that's okay. If you go to the very edge of your pan and swipe, then you make sure you get all the edges without having any of it pull up. Okay. That is it, my friends. This is going in the oven, 350 degrees for about 30-35 minutes. You want it to be golden brown on top. Okay, so while the Naughty bars are cooking in the oven, I've got another fun dessert you can do for Valentine's Day with the kids or just for your sweetheart. So if you ever just make a cake and you have extra filling and frostings and after you cut the tops off, this is what you're going to do. We're going to make these beautiful little trifle dishes. So we're going to first start with crumbles of the cake, and you can even do this with brownies if you'd like. Crumble up the cake in the bottom of the trifle dish, and then we're going to add a bit of the frosting to it. So I have a chocolate ganache frosting that we're just gonna kind of fill in the gaps. It's always great too to get disposable piping bags. So much easier to work with, because then when I'm done with it, I gotta throw it away. We can even have these beautiful, cute little sprinkles of Valentine's Day. Sprinkle just a little bit around the edges so you can see them. There we go. Now I'm going to put my German chocolate filling in it. All right, so we're gonna press that down in. Do another layer of the cake. Ah, so good. And you can snack as you go. No shame in that. Okay, then we've got yum. All of that cake onto the top. We're going to now finish it off with some more chocolate frosting. Right there. More chocolate frosting. Just use up everything we've got. Okay, I'm going to drizzle some caramel sauce on top. And I have a really yummy caramel sauce recipe, but sometimes we're just in a hurry. So it's great to grab this sauce and go. Now let's add a few of those beautiful little Valentine sprinkles on top, spreading the love all over this yummy dessert. And there you go. You have a chocolate trifle dessert. So great, easy. Do you mind if I take a bite? Because I can't handle the chocolate smells killing me. It's so good. You guys, must. Enjoy. All right, now that we have the Naughty bars out of the oven, look at how beautifully golden they are, and it's even all the way across. Okay, I know I've done a lot of Nettie necessities, but this is another one. You need to get this plastic knife. It's also called a lettuce knife. This is going to be perfect for cutting in any of your cookie sheets. This way it's not going to gouge your pan and leave marks. So we've let this cool down, and then we're going to go around the edges. Then we're going to cut it so they're perfectly even little squares. Now I'm going to take the pan in the very middle of it. I'm going to cut straight down, just like that. Then we're going to go in half again. Do it the same on the other side. Whenever you're cutting bars, brownies, whatever it is in the cookie sheet, you always want to make sure that they're even. So always start in half, then go in half again. It's much easier. And now I'm going to go down the middle this way. Again, cut half and half and half and half. And some of them I left a little bit bigger and some of them smaller. So it just depends on what size you want to serve to your friends and family. This is great for any kind of dessert treat, but especially for Valentine's Day with the yummy chocolate. And I hope you can hear like the crunch of the coconut that's now been ooey gooey caramelized. Oh my goodness, can you see this? This is like perfect gooiness all in a bite. You can put some ice cream on top of it if you want. Just let them firm up and just eat them how they are, however you'd like. But these are Naughty Nettie bars. Thank you for joining me here at the Healing Kitchen Time. We made delicious Naughty Nettie bars, and it's okay if you have more than one, and these beautiful little trifle chocolate caramel dishes. So I hope you make this with your family and your loved ones for this Valentine's Day or for any occasion, really. But please tune in next Thursday. I'm going to be teaching you how to make the perfect steak for you and your loved ones. It's going to be juicy and full of herbs and garlic and butter. So join in next Thursday back here at the Healing Kitchen Time, and make sure to share, hit like, and subscribe. And I'm going to enjoy a little bit of my Naughty Nettie bar. I hope you do too. See you later.